Alright, hello everybody. I hope you're all prepared for this shocking and controversial list. In case you wanted to know, I am rewriting this whole intro and scrapping the old one because it was announced recently-ish that the mob vote is being retired this year. And I have to say, this is extremely disappointing for me. Nah, I'm just kidding. The mob vote can go rotten hell for all I care. Just way too controversial and has done way more harm than good. But for the sake of this video, now is a good time to look back at all the mob vote winners and losers from over the years and rank them, because ranking things is fun. I'll be judging these mobs mostly on their designs and functionality, and doing my best to imagine how some of the losers would have functioned in game. But judging from how the winners were added into the game, I think the concepts that were pitched for the losers gave a pretty good idea on how they would have functioned in game. Alright. I think that's everything, so let's go ahead and start with what I think is the worst mob vote candidate Mojang has ever come up with. Number 16, the Glare. This one pains me a little bit just because I really like the Glare's design. It's just kinda cute. It's a little grassy ghost floaty guy. But that's where the positives end. The functionality of the Glare was that it would fly to areas dark enough to spawn mobs, and then get grumpy to let you know mobs could spawn there. What a completely useless feature. Seriously. Just use F3 to view light levels. No mob required. And if you're on Bedrock, first of all, I'm sorry, and second of all, just place a torch, man. It's pretty easy to tell if an area is dark, especially since the Glare was pitched after the change of 1.18, I believe, that made it so that mobs can only spawn at light level 0. A lot of these mobs have at least some niche for some players, but the Glare just seems flat out pointless. I just hope they repurpose its design someday for maybe some other lush cave creature. Number 15, the Phantom. Yep, here he is. Even back in 2017, when the Phantom was only known as Mob B, my 14-year-old brain thought a mob attracted to players who haven't slept would be annoying. Why encourage players to skip the night and not engage with fighting off monsters? And 6 years later, my thoughts are the exact same. I think encouraging players to sleep constantly and take the easy way out is just a backwards bit of game design. While kinda cool, and the Phantom Membrane is used for repairing elytras and slow falling potions, they're just so annoying to fight. They loudly screech whenever they slowly swoop down on you, and after you hit them or take damage, they go right back up in the sky for a bit, circle you before swooping down again. It just takes so long to deal with them. And repairing elytras just doesn't matter since it used to be just leather, and you're already gonna have mending anyway at that point. As they currently are, phantoms are just nuisances with no real value. They're the mosquitoes of the Minecraft world. Nobody likes them in their current state. Either their insomnia gimmick needs removed, or their AI needs changed so it doesn't take 20 minutes to fight them off. Number 14, the Great Hunger / Mob C. At the time, this mob seemed really interesting and useful. Their whole pitch was about how they could chomp up items to disenchant them, and I like how they look, being a small, big-mouthed lizard guy. The problem is, we now have grindstones that disenchant items in the blink of an eye. I can't justify putting Mob C any higher just because their functionality is useless now, and that was really the only thing that I had going for it. I know the 2017 mob vote losers are apparently gone forever or whatever, but I would love to see this guy brought back as a hazard in the desert. Have it chomp on your feet like a bear trap while it's buried. Number 13, the Glow Squid. Whether you believe this vote was rigged by a certain pedophile or not, I don't really know the whole situation. The Glow Squid is a little underwhelming. First of all, it is just a retextured squid, and its whole concept was taken from Minecraft Earth. Rest in peace. Nearly every other mob vote candidate has a unique design or model or whatever. And now second, its usefulness is pretty niche. Yes, I do think they look cool down in caves, but I still wish they actually emitted like real light instead of just having a glowing texture. The glow ink sacs they drop can be applied to signs and made into glowing item frames. This just makes them pop out a bit more and ignore light levels to always look bright. Again, they don't actually emit light levels. Signs do get a cool outline to their text as well. That's it. Just two extremely niche things that could have easily been given the glowstone dust. I'm happy they're there, but that's about it. Number 12, the penguin. While penguins being in Minecraft should have been done years ago, this concept is not what I wanted from them. These penguins would have lived in the stony shores biome. Yes, I know penguins don't always live in the ice and the snow, but come on, it was never specified if that would have been the case as well. Instead of doing something cool like fishing for you or being a funny little pet, penguins would have made your boat go faster by swimming alongside it. Cool. Yeah, sure, whatever, man. I do use boats quite a bit in the early game, and having them be faster would be awesome, but why would you tie this feature to penguins swimming alongside your boat? I don't know, this just feels like something dolphins should already do, especially since they do so in water and already are programmed to try and swim alongside your boat, I think. To me, this is just not how penguins should exist in Minecraft. I hope they're added someday with a different functionality. Number 11, the Tough Golem. Once again, we have another mob with a cool design that I don't like the functionality of. Truly, the Tough Golem was just a glorified item frame. Its proposal was that you give it an item, and then it wanders around holding that item before returning home to go to sleep. Sure, it would look funny and be kinda cool, but what's the point, man? There just really isn't much to this one, unfortunately. Number 10, the Copper Golem. This guy's whole purpose in life would have been to randomly push copper buttons it came across. And yeah, copper buttons would have come with them as well. It would have oxidized too, whoa. Well, once again, there is nothing to this one. I'm sorry, Copper Golem lovers. With basic redstone knowledge, you can already make a randomizer if you really want to. This would have just been a little more flashy and charming. I still think it would have been cool if both the copper and tough golems were added in 1.21, since a lot of new copper and tough blocks were introduced then. But oh well. Both their functionalities just feel like an afterthought. Number 9, the Sniffer. When announced, the Sniffer was clearly given way more attention and thought behind it compared to its opponents. This was the only mob that year that was confirmed to come with new items. This guy's whole deal is that you have to dig up a Sniffer egg in a warm ocean ruin in order to bring it back to life. Then it digs up some exotic, extinct plants. Sounds exciting. Well, there's only 2 of them, and they don't do anything besides look alien and interesting. I think most of us can agree the Sniffer is the biggest cock tease out of all the mob vote winners. No extra pizzazz, no extra wow factor, no nothing. It's just the mob and some weird looking plants most players will probably never use. I still like the Sniffer, but it is the pure definition of missed potential. Hopefully one day this mob will be expanded upon to make it a little more worthwhile. Number 8, the Rascal. The Rascal was said to have spawned deep underground and be a little trickster. It would play a bit of hide and seek with you until you found it 3 times, in which it would then give you an item. The only item detailed in its video was an iron pickaxe, so it was rather unclear what else it would give you. I really like the concept of a little goofy guy giving you rewards deep down in caves for playing with him. I think it would have spiced up caves just ever so slightly. I'm sure the rewards granted would have never been anything too crazy, because it seems like the Rascal was more geared towards giving helpful equipment for spelunking and such, just because of that pickaxe that was shown. I would love to see this guy thrown into an update randomly, as I think it would just be kind of fun. Number 7, the Moo Bloom. Another simple variation on a pre-existing mob, but I like this one a lot more. The Moo Bloom would have been a yellow cow growing buttercups on top of it, which would have been a new flower. I love getting new flowers when they look normal. It also would have interacted with bees, probably just letting them pollinate off of them. A very simple concept, but one I like rather well. I love having bees in Minecraft as they're just a fun and unique mob that adds some life to the game, as well as providing some useful items. I just think the Moo Bloom could have added a new, fun way to play with bees, look nice and unique, and provide a cool new flower. Again, I also hope this guy is just randomly thrown into an update in the future. Number 6, the Armadillo. The fun part about the Armadillo is that I don't think anyone voted for it because of the actual mob, but for what it finally brought to the game, Wolf Armor. I do not know why they put this feature behind Armadillo scoots of all things, but whatever. The Armadillo itself is just a cute little thing found in savannas that also scare away spiders. I don't know if you can make a farm out of that interaction, but I'm sure there's something there. Anyway, Wolf Armor is just nice for all those dog lovers that don't want their pets to die so easily, which is nice. For myself, I don't get much use out of this. Wolves just have a hard time fighting mobs. I'd rather their AI just be improved. But it is fun to dress up your dog as you can dye the armor. Also, a bunch of new wolf variants were added because of the Armadillo, which was totally unexpected. This was honestly such a cool surprise. This wasn't in its concept video pitch, and for that I really respect the Armadillo. It's not my personal favorite, but I really like how it helped out another classic mob that was in need of a refresh. Number 5. The Allay. This is the only mob I've voted for that actually won. While not as perfect as and I'm sure a lot of people were expecting, I do still like the Allay. This list might represent this thought kinda well, but I really like it when Minecraft adds more fantasy mobs rather than just a real-ass animal. The Allay is here to pick up a specific type of item for you and bring it to you. It's just a little helper monkey and a cool little companion. A little stupid though, I had one fly into lava down in a cave and completely die. If you play a note block around an Allay, they'll instead deliver their items onto that note block because they like music. Neat. It's not a super useful thing. I really don't see a lot of players using them, but I like Allays. If I find one captured by those Nazi illagers, I make sure to save one and take it back to my base. They have a very specific use, and I think that's okay. Number 4. The crab. A real-world animal this high up? What the deuce? Well, the crab is here all because it was promised to come with its oversized claw, of which, after obtaining somehow, you would be able to use it to place blocks further away. A super simple use, but would have been very helpful in a game all about building. And I think crabs are fun. There isn't a whole lot else to this one, it just would have been a pretty useful addition to the game. After the crab lost, they added placing blocks further away as a game rule that you can adjust using commands. Maybe that means they want to officially add this feature into survival soon? I don't know. Number 3. The Barnacle, one of the OG losers. Had the update Aquatic been revealed before this mob vote took place, I'm sure this guy would have won. The Barnacle would have simply been a new enemy in the oceans, snaring players with its tongue while dragging them down into the depths. Maybe it would have then tried to eat you, or maybe it would have just let you drown, who knows. I just think this would have been so fun and interesting and hilarious. Imagine just swimming around with your friends, and suddenly one of them just starts getting dragged down to the ocean floor, disappearing behind you. Even with the drowned, Minecraft oceans still feel pretty safe and tame. Our real-world oceans are the most mysterious places on Earth. We don't even know what all lives down there. I think replicating this fear of the unknown in Minecraft's oceans would be amazing. I really wish the Barnacle was in the game. Number 2. The Isolager. The Isolager would have been a new illager enemy that would live up in the mountaintops. When approached, he would have used ice magic to try and crush you with big chunks of ice he would summon. Freaking awesome. Now might be a good time to mention that I really feel like Minecraft as a game is in dire need of new hostile mobs. And I mean mobs that don't only spawn in one specific structure. Cough, Breeze, and Warden, and other things. I think it's fair that I'm a little tired of fighting zombies and skeletons and creepers and spiders and whatnot for the past 15 years. I also love all the new mountain biomes and generation, and just want more stuff to do up there besides mine coal or look at goats. The Isolager would have been a perfect little challenge to put up there with a unique method of attack. I just really miss him. And Minecraft Dungeons implemented him, so, tick-tock. Speaking of dungeons, actually. Number 1. The Wildfire. Once again, this vote loser from 2017 found his way into Minecraft Dungeons, where he became known as the Wildfire, instead of like Mob D or something. The 1.16 Nether update did so much for Minecraft as a game, and yeah, I really liked it. But one thing that wasn't touched at all, I don't think, was the Nether fortresses. After all these years, I just feel like they are outdated, simple, and way too easy to loot and traverse. You know what would help with that? The Wildfire. A big, beefy blaze mini-boss would be a nice, fresh addition for these fortresses. Remember when Bastions were first implemented, only with Piglins? It was only a little bit afterwards Piglin Brutes were added to the game to be in Bastions to make them more difficult since they were far too easy to loot before. I feel like the Wildfire should do the same thing for Nether Fortresses. I can only fight the same 2 to 3 Nether Fortress mobs for so long. Once again, I really want to see more hostile mobs introduced into the game that flesh out pre-existing areas that are really old and need some more content. I know the Bogged was just added, but simple variants can only do so much, especially when we hardly even get those. Well, that was my big, long list ranking all of the mob vote candidates from throughout the years. Forcing myself to rank them like this really shows how there are both some really great and fresh ideas here, along with some really shallow and uninteresting ones. I really hope that not all of these are lost forever. Of course, you can't just pump out a bunch of new mobs all at once. I would love to see a dedicated update that adds a bunch of these guys into the game. Maybe like all of the ones that got second place or are fan favorites. I just hate to see all of these designs and concepts and what have you all go to waste. And I think maybe like 1 or 2 other people share that same opinion as me. But whatever, only time will tell. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you also enjoyed revisiting all these fantastical animals and mobs, and I'll see you next time. I gotta go back to playing Pokemon Platinum. My stupid bee barrel sucks and died.